Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about if Batman, Bruce Wayne, was a therapist, what type of therapist would he be and what type of therapy would he practice, and would you want him to be your therapist? So, given Batman's unique personality and experiences, his approach to psychology would likely be highly specialized and unconventional. Here's a speculation on the type of therapy he might practice. 1. Forensic psychology with a strong emphasis on criminal profiling and behavioral analysis. The rationale. Batman is the world's greatest detective. His entire war on crime is predicated on understanding the criminal mind. He meticulously studies patterns, motivations, and psychological triggers of his adversaries. As a psychologist, he would apply this unparalleled deductive ability to understand why criminals commit their acts, predict future behaviors, and aid in their apprehension. This aligns perfectly with the core tenets of forensic psychology, particularly its focus on criminal behavior and profiling. Methodology. He wouldn't just analyze criminals after they're caught. He'd likely develop innovative methods for profiling potential threats and understanding the psychological underpinnings of organized crime and individual pathology. His sessions might involve detailed psychological autopsies of crimes, deep dives into personal histories of offenders, and perhaps even shadowing individuals in their environment to understand their psychological landscape. 2. Trauma-informed therapy, especially for victims and those at risk. The rationale is Batman's own origin story is rooted in profound childhood trauma. He understands the lasting impact of such experiences better than almost anyone. While he primarily focuses on crime fighting, he'd likely be deeply committed to helping those affected by violence and injustice. Methodology. He might establish therapeutic programs specifically designed for victims of crime, particularly children, helping them process their trauma and build resilience. Given his resources, he could fund cutting-edge research into trauma recovery and develop interventions that are proactive rather than reactive. His approach might involve exposure therapy in a controlled, safe environment to help individuals confront their fears, or cognitive restructuring to challenge negative thought patterns arising from trauma. 3. Cognitive behavioral therapy with a strong emphasis on accountability and behavioral modification. Rationale. Batman believes in change and that individuals can overcome their destructive tendencies. While he fights villains, he often tries to give them an opportunity to reform, as seen with the characters like Harvey Dent before his transformation into Two-Face, or even occasionally with some of his rogues like Killer Croc. CBT focuses on identifying and changing negative thought patterns and behaviors. Methodology. For individuals within the criminal justice system, perhaps those incarcerated or on parole, Batman might advocate for intensive, highly structured CBT programs. These programs would emphasize taking responsibility for one's actions, developing self-control, and learning new constructive coping mechanisms. His therapy might be less about emotional validation and more about rigorous self-discipline and strategic problem-solving to prevent recidivism. He'd demand a high level of commitment and effort from his patients. 4. A unique, pragmatic, and solution-oriented approach. The rationale? Batman is fundamentally a pragmatist and a problem solver. He's not one for endless introspection without tangible results. His therapy would likely be geared toward practical solutions and measurable outcomes. Methodology. He might combine elements from various therapeutic modalities, tailoring his approach to the individual and the specific problem at hand. His sessions wouldn't be comfortable, free-flowing talks, but rather challenging, incisive interrogations in a therapeutic sense, aimed at uncovering root causes and developing concrete action plans. He would likely emphasize personal responsibility and the development of internal discipline and resilience, mirroring his own dedication to self-improvement. In essence, Batman's brand of psychology would be less about emotional comfort and more about rigorous self-analysis, strategic behavioral change, and a relentless pursuit of psychological understanding, particularly in the realm of criminal and traumatic experiences. He would be a therapist for those who are ready to face their darkest truths and commit to a demanding path of personal transformation. So what do you think? What do you think about this speculative Batman approach to therapy, and would you want him to be your therapist? Let me know in the comments, and I'll speak to you next time.